Hello there, thanks for tuning in. This week on Camposol Through Time, we're taking you way back in Camposol's history to Roman times. Now, we all know about the Roman ruins in Cartagena, and some of you will probably know about the Romans in Matheron. But did you know that there is evidence the Romans left behind right here on Camposol? Let's find out more. I'm joined today by Camposol TV's very own historian and time traveller, Antonio Hernandez Benitez. Antonio, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Nice to see you. Right, so this week you've brought along some goodies for us on the table. Yeah? We've got some examples of Roman relics.
Exactly.
Found on Camposol.
Around Camposol?
Wow.
Okay, basically around Camposol, not exactly inside Camposol, because obviously everything is built on Camposol.
So it's difficult to dig in people's gardens,
Exactly.
obviously. So the Romans in this area, what's the history? Because Cartagena was very important to the Romans, wasn't it?
Exactly. Cartagena was the first city actually to be conquered by the Romans. Okay, so we were somehow like the first ones to be under the Roman control. And actually Matheron was important about mining as well. And this area, actually you can find different relics or different pieces of pottery or different things that actually belongs to this area, to the Roman part of Matheron.
You said Matheron, there was Cartagena and Matheron. I think Lorca's got some history of Rome as well.
Yes, as well. Majority of the cities that we know already, they were already during the Roman times and even before.
Okay, so the infrastructure that the Romans had, that actually impacts directly on Camposol, doesn't it? Because there's actual evidence of Romans travelling through here. What did they have, farms and things like this?
Exactly. I mean, first of all, the main evidence that you can find on Camposol is actually the old Roman road, which was from Matheron to Cartagena.
And there's evidence of this still?
Exactly.
Whereabouts is that?
Well, very close to actually El Saladillo Church. It's just next to the motorway and the old...
The little white church opposite the old restaurant?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just there, like 10 minutes walking. Well, sorry, 10 meters walking from the church.
Okay.
Actually. You can see on the ground, actually, the pieces of the Roman road.
Right, okay. And I mean, that's sort of exposed. It's not still covered up or anything.
No, it's exposed.
So you can see that.
Exactly.
And that gives you a vision into sort of they were actually there on that road, going from Matheron to another village, or maybe even going to Totana. Was that the main road going from?
Yes, it was actually the main road. And think about majority of our old, we call it national roads, they were actually built on top of the Roman roads.
I know there's a straight road going through from Paraton to Totana. Is that the original line of
One of them as
Roman
well.
road?
Yes.
Because that's dead straight, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But then Romans around here, actually, they were not only focusing on agriculture, actually they were as well focusing on trading. Actually, there is a place very close to Camposol, like 5 minutes away from Camposol, which is being excavated by the Murcian University. And actually it was like what we call it nowadays a venta, like a restaurant. It was a place where actually people used to stop to stay the nighttime or to have lunch or to trade, even to exchange goods, to buy things, sell.
So it's a very active community going right the way through Camposol, going into Totana, Alhama, and different places. So the land around Camposol is mainly sort of farmland that we know now. But then you go slightly south towards Matheron, and you've got the mines. You say they were started by the Romans.
And even before, but the Romans were the ones who actually probably they have one of the biggest impact of the mining in the area. And actually they were excavating looking for especially silver and lead as well. Okay, as well as different other minerals, but mainly those ones. So obviously when they found it, they were trading with it. Okay, so most of that, it was as well through the road to different cities like Cartagena or even inland Spain.
So you brought, I know you said to me about one of these relics here that we've got. We've got that. You say this is an actual piece of, well, it's sort of, it looks like a little stone to me.
Well, yeah, it looked like everything looked like a stone, like a normal stone.
Yeah.
When you are walking around Camposol, plenty of people, they walk with their dogs around Camposol, okay, and you can find things on the ground, and you're thinking it's just a simple stone, okay. Yeah. This actually is the waste of the metal. When like a blacksmith is making something of metal, there will be always a waste of that. Actually, you can find pieces of that. This is proving that actually someone was doing something specifically with metal in the area of Camposol. maybe an old farm, maybe blacksmith.
A blacksmith in the day, a Roman blacksmith made this piece of, what is it? Is it slag? Is it sort of the
It's actually,
remnant of-
yeah, well, it's actually, it's quite heavy.
Yeah, it feels metallic.
Because it's metallic, it's
Yeah.
pure metal. It's the waste of the metal, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. And those are actually pieces of pottery, which I believe they belong to the Roman period for different reasons. Because of the color. The color is not as the traditional pottery that we used to have around here, because traditionally the pottery that it was made, it was lighter. It was like a like a white color.
Yeah.
Okay. This means like this material, it was not coming from this area.
Because the soils around here are very white, aren't they?
Exactly.
And would they make them out of those materials, local
Exactly.
materials?
So this means like if you can find something like that, which is, as you can see, is red or brown, this means like it was a trading, probably coming from a different area of the Roman Empire.
Right. Okay. So the shows us as travel going through Camposol
Exactly.
and leaving bits and bobs behind. I noticed on this bit as well. Is this glazed on the inside?
And
Slight shininess on the inside.
something, okay? But the most, in my opinion, the most important part is the outside. As you can see, is quite black.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This means like it's been exposed to the fire. So this means that they have been cooking with that.
Oh, okay. So somebody cooked with that pot a couple of thousand years ago, probably.
Probably.
Wow.
The rest, actually, they can belong to different things like water containers or as well for cooking or to preserve as well different things like olives or olive oil.
So it was very active, but also it wasn't just about the agriculture. I mean, we've got this piece here, which is lovely. It looks like a snail shell, but it's not. It's actually is it ornamentation on a snail
Well,
or something?
this is something that I found not far from the Roman road, actually very close to El Saladillo Church.
Yeah.
There is an area where the farmers, they used all the stones that they found to repair the track, just a normal track, okay? Something funny in this track is actually plenty of those stones, actually, they used to belong to something. Probably like an old house or an old temple or something like that.
Recycled them.
Yes. Okay. After 2,000 years, obviously, the farmers, they don't know what they have over there. They just see stones. Okay. But actually, you can find between those stones, you can find sometimes things like that. I mean, it's a piece of an ornament, probably, I don't know, probably 1,000, 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
It was a part of a sculpture or something from
Yeah.
a house or even a temple. Or,
So is this actually carved out or is it molded? Do you know? Can you tell?
no idea.
Okay, because it looks like it's been carved out of solid stone.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, fascinating. Fascinating. So the Romans, they were here for obviously, what, a couple of hundred years, 300-400 years, BC and AD. Yeah.
Something like that, yes.
They left behind a lot of relics, and whether it's the mining or whether it's the farming.
Yes,
With the farming itself, do we know what they were growing?
Well, majority of them, they used to grow an agriculture which actually we used to have it until the 20th century, which is actually what we call a secano, which means it's a dry agriculture with nearly no irrigation, which mainly is going to be almonds, olives, and grapes, and cereals.
So almonds and olives, pretty much what they grow today
Exactly.
on the
Exactly.
land that's not irrigated.
Exactly.
Okay.
For instance, La Pinilla, which is a town which is not far from Camposol, you can have over there an olive tree which is over 1,000 years old.
Whereabouts is that? Because I live near Lapania.
Well, near the cemetery, actually.
Near the cemetery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Near the cemetery. So this means, like, for instance, Romans, they brought actually this agriculture over here. There was already something similar, okay, but mainly they started to use it as the main agriculture, no? Growing cereals and growing different things, and you can actually, they were adapted to the weather, okay, to the weather conditions, and the weather in those days, it was very similar to the weather that we have.
Very dry. It was dry, very dry last year, but then we've had the last. We had a bit of rain as well, so which is always good. Okay, thanks very much. We're going to look a bit more in detail about what the Romans did around this area, and that is in the next episode. So that's it for today. Tune in the same time next week to Camposol Through Time to find out a little bit more about what the Romans did around your house. Thanks so much, Antonio. It's been a pleasure seeing you. Thanks for bringing in all your special bits. I love seeing all those. And also, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy. We'll see you next week on Camposol Through Time.